Alright, welcome back everyone. 皆さん、おかえりなさい。今日は157日目です。It is day 157. A little bit of a late start. I caught up in some discussion. You know what I always say. I make time for discussion. Okay, so yesterday was fine, right? It was the follow-up day for our new stuff. Today we have 146. 146 sounds like it's mostly the new things. Maybe 20-ish things. Let's see how it goes. Alright. Alrighty. Today is our standard day with our three different sessions. Alright.
MAKU 地区
Shiku.
単語
Ango. What? Wait.
卒業
Totsuyo.
才能
I know. Hmm. I don't think so. Hmm. Let's push this for a bit.
夫
Oh,
浅い
Asai. Uh. Oh wait. Hmm. Maybe. I don't know what the right hand is. All right, we're gonna push this for now. I don't recall that at all. What? Yes. Oh.
計画
Keikaku. Hmm.
列
It's
性
eh. What?
公開
Okay. What? Oh, right.
飯
I see. I think this was different, right? I don't remember. I'm gonna wait to the end.
希望
Evil. Oh wait, that's the wrong thing.
例文
Devun. Oh, dang it, Chinese. I'm gonna push this to the end.
基本
Nihon. Hmm. That's definitely subject, right? I'll work on it later.
払う
Harau. No. Recurring problem with this one. Oh. What? Oh.
格好
Kako. What? Sekina. Oh. Right.
晴れ
Got it.
不審
In. I'm drawing a blank on this too. so we'll push it.
Mile.
I do. Oh. Not that. Dang it. Sorry, Chinese. No. That's no. We're just gonna move this. Let's move it.
Seiki.
Seiki.
毒ガス
Tofu.
地震。
地震。
念願。
念願。What?
お願いします。
I don't know what I mistyped the first time. お願いします。
軍。
軍。
海軍
海軍。
技能。
技能。
美術。
美術。
男性
男性。
英語
英語。
昨今
昨今。
信号
信号。
一周。
中。ね。
単に。
単に。
有毒。
有毒。
信心。
新人。
式。
い。
骨格
骨格。Oh, wait. Oops. I misspelled skeleton.
計算
Hey, son. What? Oh. Estimation should be a thing too. Okay. What? Wait. Right? Oops. What? Oh. Wait.
せっかく
Sekkaku. Hmm. Guys.
帰る
I
一例
Ichire. Dang you. Wait. Oh. Whoops.
人格
Jinkaku. Okay.
特技
Tofugu.
仏教
Bukyo.
信用
Shinyo. Oh boy. How do you interpret this? It's a belief that has uses that you have. Oh, a task.
英和
Ewa.
ご飯
Hoang. The heck? Wait.
束
Aba.
坂
Aka. What am I looking at?
フランス語
Furansugo. Hmm. Wait.
時計
Okay.
信じる
Injiru. Wait. Wait. No. What? Wait. Wait, what the heck?
昨年
昨年。
こんばんは
こんばんは。
岩
岩。
始める
始める。
英文
英文。あ
完成
ー、完成。ね。完成前に、完成前に、起こしても、起こしてもらえますか？
英国
英国。
上司
上司。
完全
安全。All complete, wholly. Uh,
中毒
中毒。Wait, what? Wait, oh.
昨日
You know, I was thinking too much about that. Much more than I needed to. Hmm.
芸人
芸人。
秋
秋。
毒
毒。Wait,
親
親。
子猫
子猫。
寺
寺。Oh, keep going.
式
式。I need more of these.
執念
周年。Oh, whoops. Hmm.
引き
いい。
大仏
大仏。Whoops.
願望
願望。Okay, I remember. Yes, I remember it now. So that helps me out with something I pushed to the end. I remember. Oh, excuse me? Oh,
昼
いる。
晩
芸能界
芸能界。
望む
望む。食中毒ね。
食中毒
そう、中毒。うーん。
4匹
4匹。
完了
完了。
大学院
大学院。
親友
親友。What am I looking at? Wait. Old. Oh man. Chinese wins. Okay. Hold up. Oh, I got it. I got it. No, I don't got it. Wait. Oh, I typed the wrong thing. What? What? Oh. Oh, what? Alright, we're moving this to you. Okay.
毎晩
毎晩。For whatever reason, I just want to say tatoeba.
例えば
And I have no idea. Oh, tatoeba. I know. Okay.
く
Good. That was gut feeling.
開業
開業。Um. Uh.
おる
おる。
合格する
合格する。合格する。I couldn't make up my mind. Wait, what's happening? What?
軍人
Why did I type the first time? Huh. Gunji, oops. Gunji.
引き算
Ikizan. Oh. That could be bad if you mix them up.
周期
周期 uh-oh. Gut feeling.
開始
Okay. I see.
仏
仏
頑固
頑固
人参
人参
春休み
春休み
本能
本能 Oops.
晴れる
晴れる
能力
能力 what happened?
英会話
英会話
女性
女性
理性
理性
失望
失望 Wait. Wait. What? Wait. Oh, no.
骨折
骨折 Oops. Not saying long, you just wanted to say thank you for explaining the difference between the argument with the big G and free will. You're going to talk to your dad about it, which is exciting. Oh, that's interesting. I look forward to hearing what your father has to say about it. Obviously, for me, that's why I think it's different. I don't know if it is. Probably because the way English is being used, it's very difficult to know, but that's how I would go about it. Yeah. That's quite a deep conversation you would have with your dad. I look forward to hearing some hot takes and whatnot from it. Enjoy. Yeah, anytime.
芸術
芸術 Oh. That's fine. No, that's
例
Chinese.
外
Big guy. Hmm.
期限後
非言語。
春
ある。
昼休み
昼休み。
猫
猫。
芸者
芸者。Oh, that's not that.
親しい
親しい。あ Like super friendly, like all up in your business friendly. How do I? Okay, friendly is fine. Kind is still all right, honestly. Kind has varying degrees of nuance. Kind requires context for intensity. What am I looking at? Wait. Oh. What? Oh.
周り
Awari. No. No?
合計
Okay. Hmm. Suitable account? What? Why? Okay, removing this.
性格
Seikaku. Oh no. Ooh, maybe not. Wait. I don't remember. I'm only thinking about the coon right now. What is... let's go with my gut feeling. I feel like my gut feeling is telling me... Just kidding. Wait. I typed that incorrectly, actually. Okay, my gut feeling is not correct. Let's move on to the next one.
性病
Sebyo. We're about to come back around now. I think I had around 10 things. I moved to the end. Because I was pretty confident I don't know.
返信
Henshin. Yep, exactly 10 actually. So this was the first one. Skill. What kind of skill? Skill. Oh. But no.
技
Waza. That's okay. That one's okay. This one is not okay. Oh wait, it is okay because I remembered the other thing that's associated with it. So maybe like
足し算
Ashizan. Yeah. I remember subtraction. So that worked out. Oh, no, that's no, that's not it. Oh, I think I got something though from all the bone ones. Right? Oh no. The bone one. Oh, wait, I do know.
骨
One. Oh, and I got the other one too.
のぞみ
Nozomi. Nothing related to this. This is also kind of old. Did it change at all? I don't think so. Maybe I typed it incorrectly? Oh, wait. Maybe it's
主語
Shugo. Yep. So that's fine. And then I drew a blank on this. Maybe it's come back to me. Art green. I don't even remember using this character. Yeah, I don't remember the vocabulary word that's attached to this character off the top of my head. Oh, wait, I do. Yeah, the whole like part of the sky has rain. Oh, I remember this now too.
言語
Gengo. I think this is dialect. Gengo. Or origin language? Origin talk? Iroiro na gengo. I guess we can just go with language. Fine. Do I remember you now? No, we didn't get anything from the left side. I mean, try again, just in case I made a typo. No, okay. Wait. Did I type that correctly? Yeah. Or what I think it is. I think it's the left side that's incorrect. Oh, no, I'm getting it mixed up. This is not accept. This is gentle, right? So it's
妥協
kyo. It's compromise. Account, measure. Okay, so you measure something suitable. Goke? Goke de san. Oh, yes. Oh,
算数
sansu. Wow, all of that just came back at some point. I think estimate works, or calculate, or the number of. Maybe sansu. Number calculate. What? How do you interpret this? Sansu. Calculate number? Numbers of quantity? Maybe quantity works? I probably disagree with whatever they have. So let's just like maybe estimation calculation. Arithmetic. Oh, okay. That's fine. No, that's fine. Let's stick with math. I think math works a bit better here. That's pretty alright. Most things fell into place after going back around. I think going back around is very helpful. It's incredibly helpful. Now, there is a little bit to say about it literally being grouped together versus it being grouped together in my head. So I do have to, half of them was because they were grouped together literally, and then the other half was because I already thought about it. So yes, resurrecting these things might not be as what I like than grouping them. Maybe if I resurrect something, right? If I resurrect something, it's coming up in soon, very soon, since we're getting into June. It's this month. This month is when we burn our first item. I think we're gonna review all the items, and I feel like I will resurrect the things that it is associated with deliberately. So, like, for example, addition with subtraction with arithmetic, right? I think those three will be lumped together. So if there is a weakness in a group after looking at it, I'll resurrect all the ones that are grouped together. I think that's a extra layer of context, because despite resurrecting all three of them, like despite increasing the workload, the three of them being present at the same time, oh, but that would require that they all burn at the same time too. That can be a problem. I could decide when to burn them. So as they're burning, I'll make a note of all the ones that require their cluster to be burned as well. And then we'll resurrect them as a group, because I want them to be intentionally linked to each other. I think that's a great way to create the meta layer. Or, oh, wait, hold up. I think I can reset these whenever I want, right? No, that is not the case. Yeah, never mind. That is not the case. Wait. Yeah, I don't think I can reset them at will. They have to be burned first. I don't know if I like that. Maybe I'll find a way to do so. I'm not sure. I think we'll probably do it in this way. We burn, and if we find any linkers that we want, at least one other linker. I think if we have pairs of groups, right? At least two. So if two things are linked, I want at least two things that are linked to that being resurrected at the same time. So they would both have to be burned. Whatever I decide is the burned thing. It could be a radical, it could be a kanji, it could be vocabulary. So I want the things that are related to it burned in groups, or burned in groups and then resurrected in groups if any of the links are a bit weak. But at least one relation. So we'll start with pairs. Maybe sometimes convenience there will be triples. That's probably what I'm gonna do in the future. Because not only is that intentional, I actually want to see the relationship between them. Kind of like in English when someone says, what's another word for assume? Well, you could use presume. Right? You could use presume to some extent. Or surmising, right? Suggesting. There's quite a lot of words that group together naturally, and I usually think of writing and speaking in terms of grouping words together. They provide like dynamics, right? What's dynamics? Constantly changing, or not static is another way to say dynamics, right? Wanting, you could suggest different extents and intensities of want, or desire, or wish, hope. So that's kind of where we're gonna head with that too. And this was a great example after introducing the moving words to the end. I don't think it's a crutch. I actually think is a boon for stylistically expanding the way you express a specific type of sentence, right? And that might be not what Japanese people do, but for myself it is certainly a lot more exciting and useful for me knowing that I can do that, but I don't have to. So I could continue to say the same English phrase, but I can also speak replacing most of the words in a different way, intentionally, for scholastic and intellectual conversations. Right? One doesn't have to say intellectual, they could use the word smart, right? However, leading to the discussion of people defining what intellectual means comes with the idea that language has nuance in it. So that's probably what we're going to add. I'm starting to work up basically what my plans are for July. The first burn item is going to be 1 week from the end of June. It's going to be the 24th. It might be the 25th, depending on what time it is. If it's too late, then it's the next day. So effectively, this is the project. The project turning point will be in July for WaniKani. And who knows? I might integrate Anki earlier than I thought. Because another way to do this is to create a separate deck, a side deck in Anki that does the same thing. However, that would kind of conflict with my conflict of interest on how I want to interact with. How do I be creative with understanding a tool with restrictions, right? I think I'll probably say Anki ideas for August. I don't want to do like 2 or 3 new things in a month's time. That's juggling too many things. I'm already feeling a little bit fatigued, like time fatigue, like body fatigue from juggling a lot of things. So we'll see. I think that's how I'm gonna use burned. Getting to your first burn item when you're doing it once a day, whatever they have in stored, it's not meta enough. It's definitely not meta enough. I think much like video games or other forms of learning content, when you're doing this, right, it's great to breed consistency or great consistency, but there should be progressive complexity or progressive meta. So like for me, this sounds like, oh, doesn't this get complicated? Not necessarily. Hear me out, right? There is some sort of level progression, as in like level of thought progression, going from radical to kanji to vocabulary, right? And then you expect that with this, you go from vocabulary to sentence to paragraph. However, there's something else that's kind of missing here in the rotation, at least in my opinion. So when you go from apprentice to guru, you can inject new info plus how you interact with it, and then guru to master, even more info on top of that info, and then you can cross-check all of them, right? That's kind of how progressive complexity works. So by the time you get to burn, you'll have info 1 stacked on info 2 stacked on info 3, right? And then on top of this progression, how does that work? This is cumulative, but the way your knowledge works, the way memory works, is that you can retrieve the different things. So this might go against SRS, like the basics of SRS, but what happens is then you're responsible in tackling any of these info, but you have one instance of retrieval. So it could be any of these. So by the time you get to a burn item, you have to know more details about a singular item. However, you are required to only be tested on one instance. That would be manually doing it, as in if you had a system that forces someone to do that. For me, I'm already doing all this. This is what I do, period. Like, it doesn't matter how literal SRS is. I do not think it's, like, obviously for many reasons and many people's opinions about goal, it's not sufficient for me. It's not sufficient. It's the beginning though, and it offers a lot of things. Donkey and the Secret Other Project are excited for the channel. Hello there, Jack. Sorry, I said Jake. Jack. Welcome. So what I'm gonna say here is that's what I'm doing, but I'm very curious how often. I'm curious about the percentage of people who use SRS start developing like extra layers of meta info, which usually the indicator of meta info is that they tackle new tools to fill the meta info. So like, oh, I saw this so many times now. Now I'm kind of curious what all of the things have this. So here's some meta info. This would be considered meta info right here. But the question is, you can actively do this. You can literally make yourself accountable for this, or you can slowly focus on retrieving it in like a passive way. And I think the vast majority of people do this passively, where they see something, it's like, oh, I recognize this character. It is also in this vocabulary, or which is in this vocabulary when you encounter it. So when you encounter it in a while, it gets reinforced. That's more like passive, right? It's passively occurring. As in, if you read a manga, if it occurs very often, then you start forming the associations. The thing that I was talking about here about burn is I'm making it a little bit more active. So I'm describing the process in which I associate things intuitively or passively because my skills involved in that has been well practiced. And I think a lot of people do some sort of extent of this. You can also design a tool like WaniKani, integrate SRS, and still promote someone, like encourage someone to do it, like literally do it. It might not be a skill that they have. So we're starting Duolingo Japanese again, and the thing that I typically do under Duo is you have a bunch of characters, right? A, B, C, D, whatever it is, and I would arrange them in a way that connects them in a flow of thought. And that is not because it will lead me to constructing full sentences and whatnot. The idea is you're trying to connect the things together so that whenever you need to think of C, there are many ways to get to C. Like if you're entering from B, you might be able to get to C. You're adding more arrows, right? You're expanding your ability to capture that information. And in SRS, it's certainly efficient. It's very efficient. But honestly, I think it could be a little bit more meta. At the cost of that efficiency. I think metagame is something that I don't think people who are on the internet are all that much into metagaming. As in, you get knowledge checked all the time. And you got that balance, the pushback. It's about bootstrapping a foundation, which is what SRS does. You bootstrap that foundation. But there's, to me, there's a lack of maturity of that foundation, where there's an encouragement of doing more with the things you have. It's kind of like playing a roguelike game versus a game that is a linear action RPG game. The roguelike aspects remixes all the components you already know. So adapting to it and finding other ways to be successful at randomness, quote unquote randomness, procedurally generated randomness, creates a different way of problem solving with the same tools. So when your build keeps changing, it doesn't change your memory of all the details. It actually makes it easier to remember, or it forces the person to remember the information. So when you go through a boss run, right? Your stage 1, stage 2, stage 3, your first path is a straight line. It's gonna feel like a straight line because it's the only line you have. Then when you play a second playthrough in the run, there's gonna be ups and downs compared to your first line of reference. But the information is being collected. So at some point, the information is going from 0% to 100% in one direction, right? But your path that you get to it continue to vary wildly. Like, so from your first one, what happens then is you are responsible for you're trying to then remember all the utilization of that information. So then this information becomes complete actively. Not only does it get complete actively, you don't go from 0 to 100%, you go from 0 to like 300%. Because you'll be interacting with the information not solely based on it, a lot of times roguelike games and very complex video games lead to emergent properties that weren't designed to happen, or from the perspective of a human, like the developer, it might go beyond what the developer intended. So this type of thing can be integrated into SRS, in my opinion. You could kind of make an argument Duolingo does this, but in a counter negative way. Basically, people get frustrated that the sentences are always the same, so they decide to go find more sentences, or different sentences, or native sentences. That is the emergent property. Now, I think there can be. Do I still? Yes. This month is the day that this month is when we continue our Duolingo Japanese. But that's what was in the monthly plan that you read, that you corrected as well. It was in the announcement. So, this is how we're gonna go about it. I think it's a little bit more active. So, burn stuff. In burn stuff. No worries. Yeah, it was in that announcement though. The one that you read me editing while I was editing it. We pushed it off because we were getting WaniKani to overlap with Duolingo Japanese so that we can do something else, right? So it'd be like a WaniKani Duolingo related interaction as opposed to them being separate things. The intent to reintroduce something is to make sure that they're overlapping. Yeah, we put a pause on it because we had to get WaniKani started up, and then get it to a place where Duolingo and WaniKani would interact with each other. Right? They would interact with each other, and that's the same thing as what I'm saying here, where you're getting objects that you do. You're getting like your habits are interacting with each other. They have to interact with each other, at least in my opinion. Having them disjointed is great for mental clarity and organization. So sometimes when someone doesn't want to do this, maybe they're exhausted or something, they can keep them separate. So like you don't for many, they keep their anime separate from their manga experience, for example, as opposed to it involving them. And oftentimes this comes at preserving mental stressors. For example, they don't mix their English with their Japanese. They don't mix their Japanese audio with English audio. They don't mix Japanese subtitles with English audio, and vice versa. English subtitles with Japanese audio. It can be very helpful when you're compartmentalizing. It might be overwhelming to focus on a lot of things. I don't typically do that. I actually do all of the above. And through practice, it's slower at first, but it allows me to think a lot more outside the box. So, cue the person that says, well, if you keep translating in your head, you'll never understand something, and etc. It's a compromise. I may or may not understand it to the full extent of what this person means. Like living in Japanese means you can truly get an opportunity to understand Japanese. But for me, when I see someone that says that, is then you then lose perspective and practice on understanding what it means for an English speaker to learn Japanese while also using English. So it's an exchange, and it's up to your goals. For my goal, sometimes I'd rather be mediocre in Japanese while also being mediocre in English than trying to be an expert in one, in this case, right? I'd rather be like decent in two things rather than one thing, largely because my use case involves that. Otherwise, you could fully embrace Japanese and alienate anyone who doesn't want to speak Japanese, which is your choice, right? When I go to Japan, I'm not only going to talk about Japan, I'm going to talk about Japan from the perspective of an American who happens to have Chinese parents. Wanting to be something I'm not is something that I keep the back of my head. I don't want to only be fluent in Japanese if it costs me needing to alienate people who likes to learn other languages and or speak English. So for myself, you can go hardcore here if you want. That doesn't mean I don't want to be fluent in Japanese. I would love to be fluent in multiple languages. The idea is my mentality and mindset is not exclusive. I can still be practicing English if I don't know the Japanese stuff. I'm always practicing a language. Most of my life, I didn't stop learning English because I conquered English. I think mindsets like that, when they tend to compartmentalize things, think that they can conquer life skills or natural things that constantly change. Or they can choose to try to preserve the same things, and therefore they stay competent. A great way is to prevent new information from coming in. So you can just ignore. You can choose to ignore new information if you want. Like, for example, a disgruntled English speaker who's really upset that there are new internet slang terms every month on a monthly basis. Like, I could sit here and be a boomer and say, no, you don't say cooked in that way. You say cooked as in you have cooked something in the oven, right? That's definitely your prerogative. For myself, I think I'm far happier when I understand that I stay on the internet a lot. And if you're okay with spending almost all your time with people who always think they're right about specific things, and that'll keep you happy for the rest of your life, go for it, right? I actually have a couple friends who believe they can never watch a live action movie ever again. I have a couple friends who do not find any joy in watching Martin Scorsese films. That's definitely can happen, right? But I don't have to force them to. I simply talk about the things that I enjoy, and actually sometimes on a blue moon, the people who know me end up enjoying it largely because I also enjoy it. So that's kind of my deal. Telling people and showing people that there's only a right way is very disinteresting to me. If people know me long enough and interact me with long enough, it often feels like we're always talking about new things or different things, because I find a lot of things interesting. Finding only certain things only interesting is, for lack of a better word for myself, sounds like a boring life to live. So I cannot sustain my life practicing ways of thinking that if I know the best way, that's the only way. Yeah, I don't like doing things the only way. So if you're going around saying, I don't think I'm ever going to play a game this good again, that's not me. I absolutely love Clair Obscur, right? For the record, I absolutely love it because of recency and stuff. But that doesn't mean I'm not gonna absolutely love the next game I play. I think there's a really, really different mindset here. Especially when someone comes to me and say, oh, why can't Americans be like Japanese people? Because this is the only way it could happen. Like, no. It can happen both ways. That's why they both exist. Perhaps if you decided it isn't the only way to live, you may put your put your feet in a little bit and walk in someone's shoes every once in a while, and then see that, right? Or maybe not see that. You could be so fervent in your beliefs that it's fine. I do like my spaghetti, my spaghetti, like toasted with garlic and tossed with an insane amount of spices, like even throw in some Szechuan peppercorn. But I also could go to Italy and have the most traditional Italian bowl of pasta, right? It's one of those things. I'm greedy. I like to experience. B? Wait, what is that supposed to be? Yeah, that's me though. I think arrogance, confidence, and pride prevents me from taking advantage of what life has to offer. I think people around me who can't wait to get up and go on the internet and find out, what are you gonna learn today? What are you gonna learn today? Every single day of your life. You're probably getting closer to how I feel about things. Like, when I get on WaniKani, I'm deliberately thinking about, am I gonna figure out something else to do today? Is today the day? Like, and sure enough, it is. Today was exciting because I was very, very happy that by the time I got to the end, because I only started doing this, right? I only started doing this, moving things to the end. It was like clockwork. I got very used to, wait a minute, I think I got it. And I think I got it. So it felt great. So I swapped it up a little for this month, right? This month, I decided to incorporate moving things to the end. And it's refreshing. And yet, none of the material actually changed. The material is still the material. That's kind of like cleaning off your bike and then seeing how it works or something like that. Not the greatest analogy. It was supposed to turn into an emoji wearing a sunglasses, but didn't. Oh, okay. All right, Jack. Yeah. If you're a guy like me, you probably come back to a game 2 years later and you realize that you see the whole game, you see the game in an entirely different light. The video game itself didn't change literally. Or you're a guy who could imagine what the remaster and the remake would be like, or could be like, and then when those people release them, you're like, yeah, that's a pretty decent remake and remaster. Can you do it again and again and again? And it wouldn't get old, in my opinion. I'm only saying that because recently, yesterday, I found out that they are releasing a remaster of Final Fantasy Tactics. And now, when I play that game, sure, the game is going to be like 99.9% the same content, but I'm not the same person anymore. Since I've played Final Fantasy Tactics, right? Since I have played Final Fantasy Tactics, I've been introduced to the world of XCOM, the Firaxis XCOM, right? I've played multiple Disgaea games, right? I've played many different westernized tactical RPG games that I can't really think of, like maybe Invisible Ink, to do a non-traditional one, a Shadowrun game. So my perspective on Final Fantasy Tactics have changed exponentially, multiplicatively. So when I revisit old things, I don't play them to simply garner nostalgia. I'm not going back and saying, man, I wish this was what the experience was like before. What was it like before? I'm thinking about it from a new lens. And that's kind of how I revisit games. Call it a legacy. That's the legacy It's a legacy perspective. You revisit games not because you want to hold on to the exact same things, you want to see its transformative effect on you. Memory sucks. I know a lot of people in this world would say, why can't human brains just be a computer? You know, if I remember what it was like the first time, why can't I just remember it exactly the same the first time? Well, you could say that. You could do that if you want. There are some humans out there who happens to have these abilities, right? Eidetic memories, and even humans who remember through emotions. There are rare humans. I actually saw a content creator who had this incredibly rare ability. They can remember all their emotions. So they emotionally are indistinct. Like when they recall an event, they remember all the emotions eidetically to their feeling. And the way they described it, it's not necessarily compatible. There are pros and cons to this. Think about hating someone and you can never overcome that hate. Right? It's a balance. Like when you design, if you constantly think about forgetting things and not remembering things clearly as a consequence in the context of the times when you don't want to forget things, then yes, it can always seem as a negative thing. But remember that life also throws trauma at you. Life also can be unlucky sometimes. What is the mechanic behind consolidating memory and being able to forget, or being able to change your mind and be affected by later events? They can be protective or powerful, even. Like a great way to illustrate this is when you hyper focus on something. If you never forget what you hyper focus on, right? Like people talk about attention deficit disorder, like ADD and ADHD a lot of times, because in those moments they are dysfunctional and can be a source of negativity. But at the opposite end, if you hyper focus on something and it's always wrong, as in you're trying to get to an answer, and when you hyper focus on something and that answer is not forgotten, like the way you go about it is erroneous to get to the answer, then you can't forget it, then you don't get to the answer. It's very difficult to say, all right, let me step back, go outside for a walk, come back, and in the moment you sit down, 5 seconds later you get the right answer, because you broke your focus. And the ability is a balance. Being for whatever consequences, a lot of our society is built on the averageness of human beings. Human beings have the capacity to switch focus. What's a great innocent example of hyperfocus being something that humans trade off, or having the ability to switch focus when they desire? A dog chasing a ball. If you have a dog chasing a ball, I would like to think that generally it's the human looking out for the dog, not to, hyper focus on a ball and run into something, for example. So it's a balancing act, but that's kind of one of the things to illustrate that the mindset of constantly re-exploring things and exploring things, to me, I feel is a human asset, not necessarily, and it's something that can be appreciated through practice. Hello there, Bill. Hello. All right. Anyways, that was a little saucy thing that I have a bunch of things that I feel I might put into like a publication or something. Maybe when I'm 40 or something. I've been thinking about it pretty regularly. Okay. Let's go over our harmonics. Again. Again, courage. Sorry, I'm thinking about what I just said. Paragraph, pass, walk, fight, grass, and scarecrow. And then let's do our reads, where you have 2 exposures. Or 3, yeah, 3 exposures. We're good to go. So, Hera, Iwa, Ae, Aru, Hiru, Ha, Aki, E, Retsu, U, Saka. Darn you. Darn you. Shiki. Shiki. Shin. Yu. Shiki. Han. Chi. En. Fu. Fu. Darn you. Fu. Fuku. Saku. Goku. Ho. I. Na. Asa. Jutsu. I. E. Gun. Han. Darn you. Hara. Utsu. Kan. Neko. Yo. Darn you. All right, we're good today. This was fine, and then we covered all the stuff pretty quickly. The missing ones. All right, so I'm gonna take a quick bathroom break. I'm gonna stretch. You know, everyone else go stretch, right? Hop around, do some corner flips, grab a drink, right? That's what I'm gonna do, and I'll be back for Hunt a Hero. So if you're gonna watch this later, arigatou gozaimasu. Feel free to follow along, stop on by, share, exchange some stories, right? Always welcome. Love to have a coffee chat or beer or water chat. Yeah, so for all those who are interested in Japanese, minasan, mata ne. I'll be back. Thank you.